So yesterday, at Ethel Kennedy's funeral, both Joe Biden and Barack Obama were caught on camera having a very tense conversation. If you just look at their body language, Obama looks defensive almost, with his arms crossed, and you can just see a visibly worried look on Joe Biden's face. Now, we have no idea what they're saying because neither of them were mic'd, and obviously the organ music was so loud, so that led social media users to speculate what in the world they were talking about. Well, now we know what they were talking about thanks to a professional lip reader named Jeremy Freeman. He transcribed this entire conversation and gave the transcript of what he was able to transcribe to both the New York Post as well as the Daily Mail. So the New York Post reports, Biden tells Obama, quote, "She's not as strong as me," presumably referring to Kamala Harris, and ex-pres agrees that's true at Ethel Kennedy's service. And again, the transcript was also provided to the Daily Mail, exclusive, revealed what Biden and Obama said to each other during a tense moment at Ethel Kennedy's funeral. So the New York Post actually took the transcript and overlaid what was given to them on top of the video, and I'm going to show that to you here in a few seconds. But first, Jeremy Freeman, just so you know a little more about him, he has been lip reading professionally since 2008, but on top of that, not only is he an expert witness forensic lip reader, he's actually certified by the Deafness, Cognition, and Language Research Center at the University College of London. On top of that, he is best well known for lip reading celebrities, so, you know, he'll help the paparazzi out when celebrities are having conversations at dinner or out in public. And then he also does the same thing for professional athletes and sports players, as well as referees who are far away. So he has been a trusted expert in the field, and this is what he was able to transcribe from that video. So obviously we have no true confirmation of who they're talking about, but the safe bet is that they're talking about Kamala Harris. Who else would the she be? Well, there is a lot of truth to that. So Nate Silver has actually finally updated his election prediction model. He is, I think, a few weeks late on this, but he's finally showing that Trump has retaken the lead. According to today's model, Trump has a 50.2% chance of winning compared to Kamala Harris's 49.5% probability of winning. What's really crazy, though, is Nate Silver's really behind the eight ball. So Real Clear Politics, right now, if you just take the average of all the major polls, Donald Trump is going to win Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Again, if the polls are correct, just at face value, without any manipulation, without assuming that Trump is going to overperform like he has in the past, just where they are. Well, even with those polling averages showing Trump winning those states, Nate Silver shows Trump winning none of them. You'll see Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin lean ever so slightly blue. Now, Trump, according to Nate Silver, is in a strong position to take North Carolina, Georgia, and Arizona, so that's great. But, you know, I'm really surprised that Nate Silver is this far behind the eight ball. Really surprised. But even on The View, they're beginning to panic, which, if you're rooting for Team Trump, that is a good thing. Joy Behar said that the polls are really starting to get to her, and they actually had a very heated discussion about this very topic this morning on The View.
Yeah. Well, as VP,
you know, can I just make a point about the polls?
You can do whatever you want,
Joy. Because I know that you don't believe the polls. And,
I do not.
I'm starting to worry about the polls because I see a lot of the media saying that he's leading and everybody's getting nervous and all that.
That's why they're saying it.
But they're doing that on purpose.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Basically, it's so disheartening for Democrats and people who are leaning towards Kamala to say, well, what's the point? Don't buy into that.
No.
There are a lot of people in this country who still support Donald Trump as hard as it is for us to believe.
Yeah.
But that's why people need to educate themselves and get on the vote.
Somebody made this one brilliant statement one time. 99% of success is showing up. So show up.
Just show up.
See, I'm not, you know what? Georgia.
There were lines around the corner
People are
in
not,
Georgia.
Yes.
you know, we have to have a lot more confidence in the American public.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because we talk, I mean, we talk to people like they're dumb. Y'all see what's going on. You know what you have to do. You have to make a decision.
Yeah.
And then go in and you pull the lever and you and God will know what you've done.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Of course, what's really rich is that the ladies on The View say they trust the American people and they want the American people to vote. But if and when the American people elect Donald Trump and J.D. Vance to the White House, I'm sure these same women are going to be calling the people deplorable, just talking about how stupid and uneducated they are. Just really rich, this rhetoric coming from The View. But it's not just the polling number. Early voting has started across many states, and MSNBC actually went to a polling station in Arizona, and they tried all day to find someone to tell them verbally that they were voting for Kamala Harris. Now, I get that rural areas are definitely more red than they are blue, but still, it's not like they 100% go for Donald Trump. There are still quite a few Democrats in those areas. So, MSNBC, they obviously are not friendly for Trump, and obviously, they're going to look really hard. They want to paint every single news story in the most negative light for Donald Trump possible. So, you know for a fact that they were turning over every stone, looking under every rock and every leaf, trying to find a Kamala Harris supporter. And if MSNBC couldn't do that, that is not good news. Take a look.
And should note, we did not find a single person who audibly would tell us that they voted for Kamala Harris. These were Trump supporters getting out to vote early in the all-important Mojave County. Take a listen to some of our conversations.
Well, the difference is going to be that everybody's coming out early. And everybody that we talked to has made a special effort this year to vote. And you can see it here in the parking lot. You know, this library's usually got 5 cars in it. There's a ton of cars in it now.
Said you voted early for the first time.
For the first time.
Why did you vote early this year?
Honestly, because Donald Trump told me to.
What a good answer.
He keeps saying it, and I've been thinking about it, and so here I am.
We met one man who did not vote in 2020, but he said he was horrified by the state of the country, so he is voting here in 2024. We met 3 other voters, one that moved from California, one that moved from Oregon, blue states, who said that they moved here and were eager to vote in a state where Donald difference. And so it's those types of voters that not only Republicans are watching come to the polls, but also Democrats have a close eye, understanding that they need to really win the Maricopa County area to make up for any potential juicing of turnout here among the MAGA faithful in places like Mojave County.
So again, it is not just the polls. It's a bad sign when even MSNBC can't find a single Harris voter at an actual voting location. Now, you can also tell how the campaigns are actually feeling based on where the candidates are going. So yesterday, Kamala went on Fox News, which I personally think was a Hail Mary, while earlier today she went to Wisconsin. Specifically, she went to the University of Wisconsin at Milwaukee, and she was greeted by protesters protesting the U.S. support of Israel, and they were essentially accusing Kamala Harris of war crimes.
She is taking the test. She's going through the test. Nurses all soldiers.
Now, I know it was hard to hear just because of the audio, but according to people who were actually there, the chants were free Palestine, we charge Kamala with genocide. And if you rewatch that, you can kind of hear bits and pieces of that. So I was actually able to find footage from another angle where you can see a few more protesters. So Kamala's event at the University of Wisconsin at Milwaukee was supposed to be a student meeting where she met with students and answered their questions and concerns. So the media was supposed to be there initially, but after the protesters showed up on campus, Kamala decided at the very last minute to shut the press out. The press were no longer invited. According to the Washington Times, Harris abruptly bars press from student meeting after protesters show up. And here's the thing, not only did they show up, as the motorcade arrived, they actually crashed her event with students. So students actually took out their phones and they started filming the ordeal. And someone in the room gave the footage to News Nation, and this footage comes from them.
Right now, I know what you're speaking of. I want the ceasefire.
But what about the genocide?
I want the war to end.
What about the genocide?
And I respect your right to speak, but I am speaking right now.
Yeah!
So,
2,000 people dead. 19,000 children are dead. 19,000 children are dead.
So, listen, what he's talking about, it's real. And so that's not the subject that I came to discuss today, but it's real, and I respect his voice. So listen, here we are. You all have the right and the ability to have opportunity available to you.
So as you heard, she used her very favorite canned line, or a version of it, the "I'm speaking" line. She didn't really address his concerns, which is unlike Donald Trump, no matter where he is. Earlier in this week, I showed you a clip of Trump at the Economic Club of Chicago, where he was interviewed by someone from Bloomberg. Well, apparently that wasn't supposed to be an interview. We found out that Trump was actually under the impression that he was going to be giving a speech, and then when he came on stage, they were like, oh yeah, this is an interview. So even off the cuff, Trump is able to engage, able to answer questions, able to answer pushback, and anytime you see any sort of pushback from a student, Kamala Harris can't even answer it. And I mean, hello, the press wasn't even there, so she shouldn't have been afraid to answer the question. But, she probably knew that the phones were on, and so she was playing it cautious. Now, one last clip. We opened at Ethel Kennedy's funeral service where we had Joe Biden and Barack Obama talking. Well, Bill Clinton was also there, and he said something very weird when he actually got up to talk and eulogize Ethel Kennedy. I thought this was a really strange moment and not a good look for a man who has been accused of very creepy, inappropriate, and just wrong actions.
I was trying to think of whether I could say anything that would add to what others have said. And I doubt that I can, but I will tell you this. I thought your mother was the cat's meow. She would flirt with me in the most innocent ways. I remember once I said, we're not at replacement population anymore, and all the politics are anti-immigrant. What are we going to do? I said, we need more people like you.
I thought your mom was the cat's meow. She flirted with me. We're not at a population crisis anymore. I mean, there is a lot to unpack there, so I will not unpack it. I will let y'all have at it in the comments. I thought a lot of you would have fun with that clip specifically. No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say what I'm thinking, but yeah. As always, all of this is just my analysis, my commentary, and that's what's going on in the world from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. What do you think about Joe Biden and Barack Obama's conversation? Do you think they were talking about Kamala Harris, or is there any reasonable explanation? Is there any reasonable alternative about who else they could have been talking about? I do believe that the transcript is accurate, just based on Jeremy Freeman's history, based on his track record, and just based on how trusted he is in the field. It's really likely, probably 90% or more probability that his transcript is accurate. So let me know what you think. Were they talking about Kamala Harris, or were they talking about someone else? And if they were talking about Kamala Harris, I mean, that's bad news for her campaign. If they are both admitting that Joe Biden was stronger than she is, I mean, Joe Biden was kicked off the ticket because they thought he was going to lose in a landslide, and yet somehow the polls are showing a razor-thin race. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of that and much more in the comments below. If you haven't already, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask, but it really does help me in the algorithm to reach more viewers like you. I'm sorry I've been off with the videos this week. I was on set today and then was on set yesterday as well, actually. So it's been a crazy 72, 48 hours, but I'm slowly getting back into schedule, and I'm excited to reveal sort of a new format tomorrow. So I hope y'all enjoy that. If you haven't already, please be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.